You are listening to the audio portion of the QB Power Hour webinar series. The QB Power Hour is a free biweekly webinar series for accounting professionals presented by Michelle Long and Dan DeLong, who are very passionate about the industry, QuickBooks, and apps that integrate with QuickBooks. You can find out all the details about the webinar series at qbpowerhour.com. So without further ado, here's Michelle and Dan.
Welcome, everybody, to another QB Power Hour. We're very glad to have you joining us today. Today's topic is the new announcement from Intuit about Intuit Assist and other AI changes. We got a lot of stuff to talk about with this new announcement that just came out this week. My name is Michelle Long. I am a CPA and the owner of Long for Success, speaker for Intuit for a long time. I was thinking about this, Dan. I first started speaking for Intuit. Oh gosh, was it 2007, I think? It's been a long time. So I was trying to remember how far back I went.
If you can't remember, it's been a long time.
It has been back in the desktop days. That's for darn sure. So anyway, it had been a very, very long time. And I started teaching QuickBooks initially back in the late 1990s. So I do have a long relationship with Intuit, which is some of what we're going to talk about today. And Dan, you have a long relationship with Intuit as well. Go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Dan DeLong, owner of Danwith. I worked at Intuit nearly 18 years. And it's funny, my work anniversary was September 11th, which was always a little clouded, but I did see a lot of Facebook memories of some of my work celebrations of that, which was mixed emotions, but they may have involved me wearing a dress.
I didn't see that. You're chasing their address.
Yes. So we're co-hosting today as well as over at Schoolofbookkeeping.com. We do a workshop Wednesday. I do a workshop Wednesday there. And so we definitely had a long relationship with Intuit as well on both sides of the bad, so to speak. And a little bit details about the QB Power Hour webinars. They're every other Tuesday at 12 Eastern. Not eligible for CPE credit, but you can always check the website for upcoming events. This month is actually going to be all about AI. So we're going to be talking about the Intuit Assist announcement today. And then next time we'll be having Heather Satterley join us with Michelle and myself. And we'll talk a little bit about how you use some AI in your practice. So we did have an introductory ChatGPT we did a couple months ago. You can always go back to the website with qbpowerhour.com/resources and see watch the replays, check out the podcast, download the handouts, whatever you want to do there. Get lots of resources there. So a little bit about the housekeeping. If you have specific questions about what we're talking about today, please put those in the Q&A. You should see a little button down at the bottom of the console there for Q&A. That will help us make sure that we capture your question. If it does result in needing to follow up with that, that makes it a lot easier for us to follow up with you directly. If you have a general comment of like Go Eagles and Boom Chiefs, please put that in the chat there as well. I see the chat scrolling by. And then, of course, we have the availability for the webinar archive, links and whatnot. And we'll post the link specific to today's webinar for handouts and the replay as well in both places here so that you can have access to that. So, Michelle, our agenda today, let's talk a little bit about that. You want to set the stage of what we'll be talking about?
Absolutely. And I wanted to let people know that the handout will be uploaded a little bit later. And I apologize for that. I was fine-tuning this handout literally until a couple of minutes ago because I kept changing and adding to it and stuff. So first of all, what we're going to be talking about today is a little bit about the history of AI and Intuit and kind of our relationship as accounting professionals with Intuit to help you lead into where we've been with Intuit and how this announcement affects us and our relationship with Intuit and stuff. So a little bit about that. So in this big announcement, Intuit Assist and what that could mean for us as accounting professionals in our practice, in our future for our practice and us as accounting professionals, and how do we stay ahead of this and of the AI curve. Intuit Assist was announced on September 6th. This is a big announcement. How many of you all saw it? I just put in that the chat window. If you didn't see it, I noticed they did it. Was it the Wednesday, I think, after a holiday weekend? So some of you might have missed this, and they may have done that intentionally on Innovation Day to bury the news, because this is a huge announcement and it will impact us. And I am always let's calm down. Let's wait and see,
Sky is not falling.
Exactly. I am never one to get all excited or whatever. This one does ruffle my feathers and get me concerned. Very much so. Some of you are just hearing this now and all that. Some of you saw the email, but it sounds like a lot of you are new to this. We're going to talk a little bit about the history of AI and Intuit. They've been working with this for quite a while. We're going to talk about the impact on that on us as accounting professionals, because this one is going to have a major impact on us. And you guys know me. I am not one who, oh my God, we're all going to lose our practice and Intuit's awful and Intuit's out to get us. And I'm usually the one who's trying to calm everybody down and things like that. This time I am concerned. So let's get into it, Dan.
All right.
But we also, stay tuned at the end. We have very good tactical steps and things that we can do to help mitigate the effect of all of this. And it is going to affect us all.
Yeah.
So,
even though the announcement was made last week, it is not changing the world today, right? Like it is, and we'll talk a little bit about how this is like, the writing was on the wall, because you've got a picture with you and Brad Smith here, that this really shouldn't be certainly can be a surprise, but it really shouldn't have been a surprise, because even our buddy Brad, everyone's favorite Intuit CEO, did talk about this. So let's talk a little bit about the history of Intuit and AI.
Exactly. Yeah. So Brad Smith, and he stepped down in 2018, I believe it was, that Brad Smith left. 2018. Well, Sasan took over in 2019. So maybe Brad stepped in. But anyway, under Brad Smith and prior CEOs of Intuit, the ProAdvisor and the accountant community was a really strong relationship with Intuit. We were a huge part of Intuit's pillar. We had the whole accountant channel, and there was a strong relationship and partnership there. They had the ProAdvisor program. They had the QBO accountants. There was training and certification. They had the road show. Back in the day, I started on the QBO road show in 2007. And so 2008, what's new for 2008? We used to go around. We were giving away QuickBooks Desktop Accountant. Everybody who came to the training. We used to hand out those CD-ROMs. Everybody who came got QuickBooks Desktop Accountant for free. They were giving it away. They were doing free training. Intuit was just really great to the accountant community. We had that Find a ProAdvisor referral website Intuit had for us, and Intuit promoted that referral website. They have links to the Find a ProAdvisor website in QuickBooks. When it said, do you need help? Find a ProAdvisor. They had it in QuickBooks Desktop in the help area. They had it when you're getting started. It would say, click here for a local expert. They had it all over prominently when people would search. So they really promoted Find a ProAdvisor website. That's how I got a lot of my clients, because they encouraged us to do the advanced certification. And then you would be listed at the top of that website so you could get more clients. And one of the things that I always did, I rode the coattails of Intuit to grow my practice, because Intuit is a multi-billion dollar company, spend millions and millions of dollars on advertising and promotion. Every time I would see these QuickBooks commercials and I would hear them, I didn't think Intuit's competing with me. I thought, thank God they're advertising and marketing for me. Every time I would hear QuickBooks commercial, they're marketing for me, because all these new small businesses that buy QuickBooks, Intuit was also marketing Find a local ProAdvisor. They were marketing for me and getting clients for me and driving new client referrals to me through that Find a ProAdvisor website or just through word of mouth for QuickBooks users. So it was a win-win. As Intuit grew with more QuickBooks users, my practice grew with more QuickBooks users. It was a win-win. Intuit grew, we were all one big happy tribe. And Brad Smith talked about that at QuickBooks Connect, how we were all a tribe. We were the same people. That's how when you go to these QuickBooks Connect conferences and stuff, it became a huge family because we were the same tribe. We were the same people. And they really cultivated that. And that's how it became such a tight-knit community. And if you've ever been to any of these conferences or watched on social, you see everybody hugging each other. It is a very tight-knit community. And Brad Smith is a hugger. And how many CEOs hug? And I even remember it. Anyway, I won't get into all those stories. The other thing was the ProAdvisor preferred pricing, the lifetime of the subscription. We had that discount. And so we could give our client a 30% discount for the whole life of their subscription. And so we had it good. We were living the good life and everything was wonderful and hunky-dory. And we just didn't realize how awesome everything was. And then at one of the QuickBooks Connect, they introduced the first QuickBooks chatbot. And if you guys, Dan's going to play this for you. I want you to watch closely. You're going to see Stacy Kildall. You guys remember Kildall in here. Stacy's in here. She has her cameo moment. She was on the big screen at QuickBooks Connect. So this was their first attempt back at the 2017 QuickBooks Connect, I think. Oh, 2016. This is the sizzle reel. This is what they dreamed for the first chatbot.
Yeah, this was an ideal state, right? Obviously, it didn't work that way at that moment once they launched it. But this is what they were hoping that this could potentially be, right? So we'll just play this video here.
Hey, QB, add the Lobster Shack as a new customer.
Congratulations, Naomi. And done.
Great. And can you invoice them $30,000 every month starting today?
Absolutely. What are you delivering?
500 loaves of sourdough every morning right as they open.
Wow, that's your biggest deal ever. At that price, your profit will be 5%. On average, it's 17. Is this okay?
Surprised I had to go with to get the deal. Go ahead and send it. Oh, and let Charlie know about the deliveries.
Okay. I added their opening times to his calendar.
Hey, QB, let's look for some ways to increase the margin.
Well, with your increased volume, you could buy flour in bulk directly from a miller. If you went with simple flour milling, you'd save about 10%.
What's that tally?
About $13,000 a year. Or 3,000 of those half-cap, no-whip mochachinos you'd like so much.
Right. And what's the downside?
You'll have to pay up front, and that means you'll be short $4,202 for payroll next week.
Are any options to cover?
Working on it? Yes, I found 3. Borrow on a few invoices, open a new line of credit, or take an advance from your credit card.
Well, let's see what Stacy thinks.
Playing a message from your accountant.
Good job landing Lobster Shack. Since they're going to be a recurring and high volume client, I think if you switch suppliers and go with simple flour, you'll be fine after the first month. To make your payroll next week, the cleanest and cheapest option is going to be the loan against your receivables or your open invoices. Let me know if you have any other questions or if there's anything else I can help with.
Hey, QB, you get that?
Working on it. Funds will be available by Wednesday. Plenty of time to make Friday's payroll.
Thanks for the lift.
You're welcome. Hey, QB, you sure are popular.
I serve over 10 million businesses around the world and speak 37 languages. But I'm never too busy for you, John.
All right. So I just picked up another $15. How much have I made driving versus designing this month?
With driving at $22 an hour, you've made almost $1,100. With designing at $50 an hour, you've made $700.
And I'm going to finish up the toy store job tomorrow. Could you let them know their new logo will be ready in the afternoon?
I marked your calendar and notified them.
Sounds good.
Drive safe, John.
Before we were using
Oops.
Monday.com, our team was drowning.
Rid of that. Let me close that
Am I
out.
seeing it?
And we'll get back. Yes.
So you want to go ahead and give us an update on where we're at now with all that?
Yeah, the QuickBooks Assistant, which is what that ultimately rolled out into, is really only still available in the self-employed labor of QuickBooks online. If you do have access to a client or QuickBooks Self-Employed currently today, you will find that image of what they were going to do is not what it is today, right? And at best, it is a guided help, in-product help to give you resources to help with those types of things. So it's certainly not the reality of what it turned out to be based off of the vision of what they were hoping it to be. Certainly not what happened. Now, and Alicia has actually said in the chat, this is so not realistic even now, right? But the vision versus the reality is definitely what we're here to try to talk about and unpack through today.
So what I think is interesting about what Brad said, so if you want to go to the next slide, Brad even said way back then, he told us that we as accountants must embrace AI or we're going to fall behind. He said that anyone who wants to stay in the business of send me your shoebox and I'm going to charge you by the hour, those are the ones who have to be struggling in 5 years. He said instead, he says that the accountants have to step away from keying in the data, let the machine do that, and get into the advisory role. And he said basically that you have to get away from that if you do, then you're going to be in a category that's reimagined yourself and has not been displaced. He was right. Look at it now. If you're still trying to do manual data entry and charging by the hour, you're struggling because our industry has changed. So Brad was right. We can now look back 5-6 years ago. Brad was right. In 2017, he was correct on what's going to happen. And that's one of the things that I respect Intuit. They're a $1 billion company. I have 100 shares from many, many years ago and made a buku bucks off of them because that stock price has done very well. They spend a lot of money on researching and investing what the future is going to hold. I was doing Firm of the Future and teaching people about freedom in the cloud way before COVID hit. So when it hit, we were ready because a lot of us accounting professionals already knew how to remotely log into everybody, and we were already working in the cloud when all these other people were scrambling. Intuit is ahead of the game because they are one of the top technology companies in the country. So they know what's happening. They know what's coming. Brad Smith told us what was coming. So if you were paying attention and you were listening and preparing like a lot of us were, we did reinvent ourselves and we started implementing these tools. We started setting up the bank rules and utilizing these third-party apps, and we did this. So do you want to go ahead and launch that first poll, Dan?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So our first poll is this the let the machines question?
Yeah. Do you let the machines do
There we go.
basic bookkeeping? Yeah. And the thing of it is that we have to realize as accounting professionals, Intuit isn't the only one doing all this. We have so many competitors out there now with Pilot and Bern and QuickBooks Live. Our accounting industry is not the way that it used to be with mom and pop bookkeeping firms out there doing bookkeeping anymore. We have big players with big money into our industry then it's automated everything. And what QB Live now is as low as $200 a month. And Bench and Pilot, all of these VC money has come in and $200, $300, $400. And not only are they doing bookkeeping, but I think it was Pilot, they're doing bookkeeping, tax, and advisory services for these clients and these small businesses. It's commoditized basic bookkeeping. And it's already here, and it has been here for a number of years now. So it has changed our practice. And Brad Smith told us that was going to happen back in 2017. And so we knew this, right? And so we had to change, and the vast majority of us have done that. Those of you that are listening to this have probably already done that yourselves. And we're seeing that here, except there's still a few of you, though, that are still doing data entry manually. And that scares me that number is that high. 27% are still doing that. Dan, what do you think about that number?
I think it always kind of came down to, and we would question these sort of things, like when I did work at Intuit, right? Like all of these things that were done for you, where there was some kind of automation included. Like, what does this mean? Like, does that mean? And we would ask the same questions as support people, like, are we going to be out of a job because this is going to be so easy to use? Well, the thing is, you cannot count out adopters of the program having some confusion around how to use it, right? I mean, that's always going to be a case. There's always going to be new people using it and having some confusion. And so we never saw a degradation of the workforce. Now you see all these news things, and we'll even talk about the Intuit Assist announcement of the firing of 715 people. Intuit, I always thought that they were a very green company because they recycle those employees. Even though people got let go, I was impacted twice. But if you chose to, you could come back, right? It didn't necessarily mean that you were fired or laid off. It just means that role that you were currently in was no longer going to be available in the way that it was, right? Because this was the way that Intuit embraced change, is by reorganizing, recalibrating job functions to that calibration, and then hiring the people that felt that they could do that role and that job, right? It's a little weirder from the outside perspective, where somebody would be like, that's an odd culture, right? Because you thought every fourth quarter, it was like, okay, is it me this time?
Right, right. And that's the way it was in public accounting. Yeah. Every so often. Yeah. Okay, so let's move on now, because we still got a lot to cover. So now Sasan Goodarzi, I hope I said that right. Sasan Goodarzi comes in as CEO in 2019, and he had his background in running TurboTax and the QuickBooks businesses, which are product-based, consumer-focused businesses. And he says he realized that no matter how much they worked on letting people DIY, do it themselves, no matter how much they worked on helping people calculate their own taxes and keep their own books, he realized that people didn't want to do it themselves. He realized that building out a platform for our customers to do the work was not actually the future. The future was it's done for you. So he said that he really bet the farm, basically. He bet the entire company on the idea that people are going to trust an AI service to recommend specific personalized business decisions. And he decided to bet the company on their data and AI. He literally bet the farm $20 billion, the whole Intuit company, on AI. And not everybody was on board with this. Not all of them were on board. So he's going to bet $20 billion on the fact that what enables this company to do this is their data that's going to bet the farm that they're going to do the work for you. They were always do it yourself before. We're going to give you QuickBooks and let you do it yourself with your accounting professional. We're going to give you TurboTax and let you do it yourself with your accounting professional. Or we're going to give you a certain Pro Series and let you, the accounting professional, do it. Now Intuit says, we're going to invest in all of this data. And this is where AI is all about the data. And we have heard this for years. It's about big data. So Intuit needs big data and Intuit needs clean data, right? So Intuit, first of all, already had 57 million customers and some data, right? So they already had the QuickBooks and the TurboTax data stuff, right? Well, then they bought Credit Karma for $8 billion, and that got them 120 million or 110 million customers in their financial data. Then they bought MailChimp, and that was 12 billion and another 10 million more customers and their data. They also started QuickBooks Live because now they have all those customers and they're cleaning up that data. They're getting that data cleaned up and formatted. So now they have good data from bookkeeping clients as well. They can use all of this data for training AI. Okay, they can feed that data into AI and help the AI learn. These are the expenses. They can use the data to train AI on how to recognize patterns and predict things and all that. They use that data for AI to train it, to learn, to predict patterns and to recognize things. They use the data for cleaning things. So the whole QB Live thing, yeah, they were losing money for a long time, but they're investing in a lost leader. So yes, they can be cleaning up that data and getting all those clients and stuff can get the data to train their AI to be doing this stuff and learning and making all these recommendations and everything. And so some analysts who's in the stock and how these stock analysts and stuff recommend and comment on these public companies and everything, he said that everybody wants to talk about how great their data is, but Intuit's data set on the consumer side or the small business side is second to none. They had huge amounts of data with 110 million customers or more than that now. That is just amazing data. And Goodarzi says that this AI is as transformative as electricity and the internet. And listen to this last one here. We're at the beginning of the journey with AI. In the next 5 to 10 years, it's going to create new economies and destroy some economies, create new experiences, fuel new company growth, and make certain companies go out of business. Okay? And I want us to listen carefully to a lot of their messaging. Make certain companies go out of business, and that is okay. Some companies are going to go out of business, and we're going to do this poll in a little bit. They make it clear.
One of the things about that is that from my perspective and our relationship working with and for Intuit is and you mentioned this, they have a data problem, right? They have so much data that they're never going to be wondering what people are saying because they have all these data inputs, not just the data, the services that people are using, but collecting feedback and people who call in and talking to somebody, or that you mentioned the QB Live, right? The problem is they have dirty data, right? Where somebody will just put in feedback. This is broken. We're like, what is this and how is it broken? Right? So they need to get it from something that is usable or something that is cause into something that is usable. There was a guy who used to work at Intuit. He's saying, God we trust, and all others bring actionable data, right? Because you can't do anything with inactionable data like it's broken. You need to actually turn that into a situation that's duplicatable and then replicatable, and then we can do something about it, whether it's fix a glitch or fix a problem. I actually was almost fired for not properly documenting my cases because there was a certain format, right? I wanted to just take care of people, and that busy work to me was just that. It was what I felt it was busy work, but it was me being able to take what people are saying and turn it into something that was action.
Dan, do you want to go ahead? Let me give this a try real quick. Here,
okay. Yeah, I don't hear any noise. So if there is any sound, it's not coming through. Do you want me to share?
Yeah. Can you go ahead and play this video?
Yep. Let me stop your sharing. And there we go. There we go. There. Yeah, we're gonna push this much. All right. Do you want me to stop sharing? Can you pick back up? Oh, you're muted.
Yes. Thank you. Sorry.
All right.
My husband would love to meet me more often. Okay. Can you see my screen again?
Yeah. Yeah. I think the big
Okay.
thing that I saw in that video, as opposed to the initial one, is that we can pretty much say one of the things that was missing was the whole ecosystem. And that's what I think Intuit has made those changes in the last 5 years is they've created and acquired the data that centers around the entire financial ecosystem of a person, a business, or what have you, right? So the TurboTax, Credit Karma for personal types of things, and then the QuickBooks MailChimp, that gives a more holistic view of, of services, not just necessarily the one service that one person might be using.
Yeah. So one of the things, and I'm running out of time here, is I can go long. I don't know if you can, Dan. Can you go over a little?
Yep. Yeah, I can go over a little.
Yeah. So those of you that can stay long, we can talk about questions and stuff over. But I do want to get through the bulk of the content in the hour that we have allotted. Those of you that will have to drop off at the top of the hour or the end of the hour or whatever, I have links in here for you to go back and watch. They have a separate video for each one of the four. There's a separate video on TurboTax, Credit Karma, QuickBooks, and MailChimp. There's the overall launch video that Dan showed you. The blog post has information. There's a separate blog post for each one separately and stuff. So I have links in here so that you can go through and take a look at these. Whoops. Sorry, I went down too much. One of the things, though, when we're talking about QuickBooks, the Intuit Assist for QuickBooks, it talks about automating tasks and workflows, but it doesn't really get into much detail where it talks about actually doing any work or anything. Mostly what I saw, what you saw, where it shows you reports and answers questions like, show me how much I spent on this, or what were my sales, or whatever. It does say that it could send some invoices. Eventually, you'll have the ability to send invoices, look at some insights on profitability or your top selling products or whatever. Those are reports. That's no big deal. So most of what I saw when it comes to QuickBooks really wasn't a big deal. Some of the things, though, that are alarming to us, and I saw this frequently under the QuickBooks and the tax side, you'll be able to seamlessly connect with a human expert. Everywhere you see where it says you're going to be able to talk to a human expert, that's their QB Live team and their TurboTax Live team. It's not us. It's not the Find a ProAdvisor website anymore. It's not the accounting community. And when you watch their launch ads or their launch videos, that you'll see Sally, the CPA, or Steve, the CPA, or whoever, you can bet your bottom dollar it is from their QB Live team or their TurboTax team. And my friend Andrew was a CPA, and he worked for the QB Live team. So you guys like to talk about how awful their QB Live team was, or their TurboTax team, or whatever. They do get CPAs that work for them. My firm wanted the freedom and the flexibility, or whatever. They may mess things up and do an awful job for you to clean up after them, but they do get good quality people that work for them for whatever reason as well. So they're not all horrible. But they do get the good quality people. They get people who are retiring but still want to work. So they do get retired CPAs or EAs or whoever that want to go work for them. So anyway, here's the video for the QuickBooks one, and here's the blog post there. Here's questions I have about Intuit Assist for QuickBooks. They make no mention about setup or conversion. They only mention that the people can import something from their website. That doesn't tell me much. What are you going to import the products from the website or the customers or what? That makes no sense at all. What if I'm using a third-party app? It doesn't say anything about that. Does it talk about bank fees, rules, or other ways to get data into QBO? Does it mention third-party apps? What about payroll? What about QBO users? Are my employees going to be able to use Intuit Assist and say, hey, show me the P&L for last month? Show me Dan's paycheck. How much did he make? What are the user permissions going to be like? What are they going to be able to see? Again, when they connect to that expert help, it's clearly going to be live. What's going to happen to the Find a ProAdvisor website? There goes all of our leads and referrals that we used to get. Is that still going to exist at all? I get the impression clearly from all of the communication, and I spent hours reading through everything, and from the sun and all of the messaging, it's clear we're going to be one of the ones whose business no longer exists. We're going to be one who suffered and doesn't survive. And I clearly get the feeling, and it's been leading up to this. Our discounts went away. Those of us who've been a ProAdvisor for 25 years got a chain for our 25th anniversary and a gift basket. Anyway, we can feel the relationship between Intuit and the ProAdvisor community has been changing over the past several years. This is not new. This is like, if you were clear on what's been happening over the past few years, our ProAdvisor discount changed. We're used 30% for the lifetime of the subscription has now changed where it's only $12 for the year. Even for the solution providers, those discounts and referrals and everything has changed. The relationship has changed. It's not the way it used to be. This is clear. It's like, if you weren't sure, drive a stake in the heart almost. This is very clear to me. Maybe I'm misreading it, but maybe you guys can tell me differently. Anyway, what about training for accounting pros in the future? Is that going to continue? What about our PETA clients? You guys are putting this in the chat. I've not been able to keep up with it. We have Pioneer clients. And I know QuickBooks Live has that too. When they won't return your calls, they won't give you the information you need. We have pain in the rear clients. What about them? They're going to fit in this big little box for QB Live or for Pilot or Bench or whatever. What happens to the PETA clients? They're not going to work for AI or QB Live either. What happens to the PETA clients? They're still out there and they still need someone to help them. Okay. So they're going to fall through the cracks. Somebody still has to deal with them. I don't know about you though. I don't want PETA clients. If you're going to deal with the PETA clients, you better be charging them 3-time multiples for dealing with them. In the Intuit Assist with TurboTax, they now, I don't know if you missed this because you were so busy doing your taxes. There are 3 options with TurboTax. Full service. They will do business tax returns now. Last year, they had a discount. They'll do your business tax return for $800 instead of $1,500 or whatever. But they will do business tax returns now. So there's full service, assisted, and do it yourself. At any process, if you're doing the do it yourself, you can say, hey, I need help. They're going to go to the TurboTax Live people. Okay. It's not going to you. But with the TurboTax do it yourself option or the assistant, any of these, it is so easy to just drag and drop. Here's my W-2. Here's my 1099. Here's my whatever. And it just drag and drop it in there. Why would I want to go fill out the organizer you send me or go to your portal and drag and drop it all over there when I could just do it over here? And then when I hit done, it's completed my tax return. And if I need help, I just sit here and I get help anyway. So why am I going to go to you, tax professional, instead of just doing it over here with TurboTax? This is where I see the biggest threat because not only do I have to drag and drop and upload my W-2 and 1099, they can just get it all automatically downloaded and basically have my tax return already prepared for me because everything's all electronic now anyway. So tax preparation, I think, may be the first biggest risk under that. So that one could be really a risk. MailChimp and Credit Karma, those are awesome. The MailChimp, you saw that can help a lot. Being able to do an email campaign and do the copywriting to draft your email campaign, to be able to, change this so it's more friendly. Now, you can do that with Intuit Assist and QuickBooks as well. Make this email to my client about their overdue invoice more friendly so I can stop in the town. That is going to be in QuickBooks or in Intuit Assist with QuickBooks. So you can do that in there. That's going to be cool. But with the MailChimp thing, you saw how it could put the potted plants, put the plants in the background of the email. You got a picture of your chair. You can say, put this in a living room setting. So you don't even have to take the picture. That is where the text to image AI can generate in DMF. What is generative AI? When it can create new content, it can create a new picture by you telling it, take this chair, put it in the living room now, instead of with white wall behind it. Generative AI, it creates new content based on what you tell it. MailChimp is awesome. However, they're going to have an email list, but the MailChimp is going to be awesome. So that is going to be great for these small businesses and for us as well. They may need our help with that to help them with a marketing campaign using MailChimp. Credit Karma was awesome too. When I was looking into that, how do I know which of these 5 credit cards with their reward programs I should get based on my personal spending? Maybe I don't travel a lot anymore. Credit Karma can look at your personal spending habits once you hook up your credit cards to it, analyze them and say, Michelle, based on this, the Sapphire Blue credit card is the best one for you based on your personal spending habits. So it's really cool. Not only that, it can say, you spent too much. You should do this. You should do that. Credit Karma has got some pretty cool things in it for people, not only people that are financially distressed and need help to meet their monthly expenses each month, but also other situations. So that was cool as well. Here's what's really cool. Like Dan said, with this whole ecosystem now, somebody who's been using MailChimp, Intuit can cross-promote them to get them to use TurboTax or QuickBooks. People that are using QuickBooks, they can cross-sell them. Hey, why don't you start using MailChimp for your marketing and promotion to do an email campaign? So from a stockholder perspective, that's looking very promising for cross promotion and cross sale and to help get that stock price up in the long run. So that all looks very good on that aspect of things. But I think the biggest threat initially is on the tax prep side, because people initially, when GPT-4 came out, ChatGPT-4 came out, they were like, oh my God, ChatGPT can do a tax return. Well, ChatGPT can read the tax code, but it couldn't apply it to your tax situation. But Intuit has the data. So Intuit can make, or the Intuit Assist on the tax side can make personal tax recommendations because it can read your data. So it's got your data, and now it's got the financial LLM, large language model, that it has trained. So it takes the open source Chat GPT, puts it in it, GenOS, financial language model. I don't want to get too heavy. Intuit now can take the AI smarts combined with the data to give you a personal recommendation that says, Dan, this is what you should do to maximize your tax stuff. And not only that, if you did this, you could save that and take over the tax stuff and make the tax planning things too. Not only to do the tax prep, to do tax planning and tax advisory. So I think if I had a tax practice, that's initially where I would be really scared and really worried, is from the tax side of things. But again, what about the beta client? What if they don't get you their stuff to do the tax return?
I
Go
actually
ahead.
did use the full service TurboTax a couple of years ago. And from my perspective and my personal living situation, where I'm living in an RV and who knows where I'm going to be, it was actually really helpful. But I actually got dropped a couple times because I didn't respond quick enough. And it was very transactional, meaning that I provide them the information, they put it in my return, and they prepared it, right? If you want fast food tax returns, that was it. And it was really good and delicious, like most fast food. But it didn't give me, as far as like planning and having a conversation about what should be my strategy next year, that didn't happen. And that was with a person, right? So I don't know how this will ultimately flesh out with AI being part of that and people being part of that as well in the full service side of things, which extrapolates itself to everything that the Intuit Assist can and is promising to do, right? There's always going to be a human element. It's just what human, right? And
Right.
and that will be the $64,000 question as this kind of evolves.
Yeah. Okay. I got to real quickly give you some suggestions, and then I wanted to show you something also. But okay, how do we stay ahead of this and fight back against some of this? We've been saying this for the past 6 years since Brad said this. We've got to focus on advisory. Good news is we can still take advantage of the training and opportunities that Intuit is giving us for free while we still have them. I don't know how long they're going to be there. There is a virtual conference October 10th and 11th, Accelerate Growth with the mid-sized clients or whichever client, advisory services. This is great. And there's a session. I've got a session out there on pricing strategies, QuickBooks and third-party apps, converting to QBO and QBO Advanced. Sign up for this. Even if you can't attend it, you can watch the recording later. It is 2 days free CPE, the whole bit. Also, as a ProAdvisor, there is 20 some hours of free advisory training out here. This is really great self-paced training, you guys. This is some really good stuff out there. Jeannie Whitehouse has recorded some of this and other people as well. I don't know why they didn't let me some of it. I would have loved to, but I don't think I've got any of these self-paced trainings out there. But really good stuff out here. And here's how you can access that.
And this is, we've been talking about Intuit is doing this to you or to us as accounting professionals. They offer this free, right? Like this is something in the ProAdvisor portal that when you log into your QBOA, you can access this too, right? So this is not, we don't want to necessarily be like wagging the finger at Intuit all the time, because they do. They told us 5 years ago or 6 years ago, hey, this is coming. And now they're
Yes,
telling us
they did.
today, hey, this is coming. And they've also given some tools to be able to allow you to do that. So this advisory, I think this was like 2 or 3 years ago that it was launched in there, right?
So take advantage of it. Yes, it is very great training stuff. Also, we need to continue focusing on advisory. Check this out, please. Digit. Go to Digits. Just Google it and go. Free for your first 5 clients for accounting firms. Digits takes AI and gives it to you for your accounting clients. Hey, your first 5 clients are free. What it does is and I was going to demo this, and I'll show you in just a minute. You can use this to help you to do advisory services and give your clients recommendations on how they can improve their financial performance. Okay. This can help you significantly, and it's in a nice, secure platform with their app. Okay. Digits. If you've got to jump on at the top of the hour, just write down Digits, go sign up for it. The first 5 clients are free. In November, we have Cashflow Mike is going to come on, and he's got great content for you on advising your clients about cash flow, which is always a problem, especially now. So make sure that you pay attention. We don't have the exact date yet, but he's coming on in November. And then also there's a lot of different third-party apps out there that offer some training and certification for you to help you with their apps and things like that. So all is not lost. We just have to make sure that we keep continuing education, that we keep training and learning new things and stuff like that, so that we aren't obsolete when these clients start going to Intuit instead of the Find a ProAdvisor website to find help. Okay. So we don't want to all of a sudden say, what's happening to all my new clients? Where
Yeah, and somebody did that. And while you're looking for whatever it is that you're
yeah.
somebody did mention in the chat, there are some limitations with the QuickBooks Live as it sits today. They only take cash basis versus accrual and those types of things. There is a feeling for what will be able to be done directly within the product itself. I know the chatter on some of the social media outlets is that they use QuickBooks Live as a great referral source because they end up talking to the people after they reach that threshold of what they can do, right? And I often talk to people like I come in where Intuit leaves off, right? If you're not getting what you need directly out of Intuit, that's where you come talk to me, right? So those types of things are still going to be in existence. But I think the cautionary tale that we're trying to talk about today is that it's only going to get better. The systems that are in place are only going to get better because a machine is a machine. Technology is a technology. It's going to have its glitches, but it's going to get better. And things have gotten a lot better from 5-6 years ago because now there are things in place so that things can get better.
And just real quickly, let me show you this, and we'll talk more about ChatGPT and some of these things with Heather next time. But you can use plugins such as Wolfram for math calculations and stuff. You can give ChatGPT a P&L. Don't ever copy the company name or anything like that. Notice I just have the date and the account names. Make sure there's no identifying information out there. No company identifying information out there, only number. Okay. But then you can ask it. I asked it to calculate the profitability margins and give me recommendations for improving their margins. Look at the type of things that this can do. So when you're talking about AI giving recommendations for improvement and things like this, it can already be doing advisory type of recommendation. So here's where we also can use AI to help us with our advisory services. That's where Digits can help us as well. So we can supplement our AI knowledge, our advisory knowledge with AI tools as well. All right. To make our job easier, faster, and more efficient. But you have to have that knowledge base because AI can hallucinate and give you bogus information. Digits is a great tool to help supplement and do it faster and more efficiently for you. So I encourage you to check out Digit. Again, it's free for the first 5 clients. You've got to have that knowledge base though. So go do some of that training from Intuit. Sign up for that virtual conference. And somebody said the dates were October 11th and 12th instead of 10th and 11th. So I apologize if I got the dates wrong. I was doing this late last night. Sign up for the training. Even if you can't attend it live, you can watch the recording later and also do the self-paced training, because that self-paced training has a lot of things that are not available in the virtual conference. Okay. And I don't want to be totally down on Intuit. Intuit is still a fabulous company. Intuit still supports us amazingly. They give us Studio A. They give us amazing tools like books review, the reclassified transactions. I mean, they still do amazing things for us. It's still an amazing company, but there are some things that are changing, and some of those these referrals from the Find a ProAdvisor website may not be coming anymore. So we just need to be aware of that. And they are competing with us just like Bench and Pilot and things like that. Some of that stuff is changing. So we have to be changing as well. That's the nature of our industry. Our industry is always changing it. AI is changing it just like the dang PC changed it however many years ago. And everybody freaked out. Oh my God, we're losing all of our clients because everybody's getting a computer and they can do it on their own. Things change. Our industry is changing just like it did then. This is a huge change though. And it is changing. It's going to continue changing. We just have to keep changing right along with it.
Yeah. And if you've got a surfboard and you see the wave coming, you can have an awesome ride into the shore here. So that's the thing, is just making sure that you've got the skills, you've got your wetsuit on, you've got your board is whacked, and you're ready to ride that wave into the shore. That's my analogy.
This is one though where it is really going to impact us. I think not today, not tomorrow, not even next year, but 3 to 5 years from now. If you just don't do anything, you keep operating like you're operating, and you're planning to retire in 3 to 5 years, that's probably okay. But if you are like my son and you're like, I'm not going to say how old he is, but because then that makes me old. But anyway, you have to change. You just have to, in my opinion. So I hope I light a fire under your behind, and it gets you realizing you've got to change. You have got to. If you've been dragging your feet on that stuff, you have to learn about AI and these tools. Start with Digit. I saw it at Scaling High. It's an amazing tool. I wish I would have had time to demo it. Join Heather and I, and we're going to talk more about using ChatGPT and how you can use it for communications, for social media. I'll show you more how you can do that with the financials and stuff like that. So Heather and I are going to do that in 2 weeks. So,
all right. Well, I thank you. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about? I did launch the poll while we're talking there about where people sit today with regards to, is the sky falling or are they well equipped? And I do see a significant amount of folks that do feel like they are well equipped to embrace this change, which is pretty awesome. They see that this will affect their business, but they're not quite there yet. So time will tell, right? And then this will not necessarily, the sky has not fallen yet, but we foresee, or Michelle and I, we foresee that this will definitely have an impact on the accounting profession, and it will need to be embraced, or not necessarily embraced, but at least dealt with, so that you're able to ride that wave or take your surfboard and go somewhere else.
and that's right. Some people may decide maybe it is time for a change. So anyway, so hopefully this was informative to you and all that, and hopefully it opened your eyes and stuff. And we do just have to wait and see what's going to happen and where this is going and stuff like that. Somebody asked if Intuit is going to charge more from this. And this time it looks like they're just baking it into all of their products. Intuit Assist for QuickBooks, for TurboTax, for MailChimp, and for Credit Karma. It doesn't look like they plan to charge more for it. But as you know, they increase the prices every single year. So I would anticipate that it just is an additional cost every year. as opposed to an add-on. What do you think, Dan?
Well, I think once it gets to the point of I need to talk to an expert, right? And that's going to be where they're going to have that conversation with the QB Live or Intuit Full Service Live or TurboTax or what have you. Anytime you have a human person, then there's going to be a cost involved because there's going to be a fee for that, right? So I think that's where they're hoping that things will go, and maybe they're not driving it, but the more that they can automate, right? Just like anything else in your practice, the more that you can automate, the more scalable that will become all across the board, right? They're going to have a win there for more subscriptions because that they'll be able to, their capacity to do that will be available. And then when it comes to, okay, well, I need more help, then that's where there will be an increased fee, I think.
Yeah. So, and some of these are awesome and scary at the same time. It is, because we just don't know what's going to happen in the future. It is awesome. I mean, some of these things like MailChimp, that can really help these small businesses. And that's what I said, like about the third-party apps and everything. That helps the small businesses compete with the larger companies like they never could before. MailChimp is going to help some of these small businesses to have access and do things that they couldn't afford before. So that's awesome. And I think that's really great. And I love Intuit for bringing those things to these small businesses and even all this other stuff, being able to help these small businesses like they couldn't before. I love that Intuit is bringing this to these small businesses. I just hate that we're getting cut out in the process, that it hurts. So anyway, anything else, Dan?
No, I think that about covered it today. So appreciate you, Michelle, for sharing your perspective. As always, it's your history of helping the accounting industry navigating some of these changes as they may seem scary is fantastic. And I think that's a lot of people look to you for guidance on how do I navigate this change as well. And this is a great session. I think it will have it remains to be seen how this will affect. I saw somebody in the chat there is at QB Connect. Is there going to be a riot? I don't know, right? I would not advocate for that, but like we saw last year when we were at QB Connect, some of these things that were announced were met with thundering silence because there was a little bit of a guarded aspect to the way things were coming towards or being delegated. That's not the word I'm looking for, but directed towards the accounting profession, those that are in the accounting profession. It'll be an interesting QB Connect for sure.
Well, for the first time ever, I probably won't be there. Is it any wonder?
Yeah.
Anyway,
we'll still hold out. We'll still hold out hope that you will make it.
Yeah, but it's still an exciting time to be an accounting professionals with all of these tools and all of these opportunities. Still a great time for being an accounting professional and to be able to help these small businesses. So I think it's great.
All right. So next time we're going to have Heather Satterley on to talk about how we can use some of these AI tools to your benefit as an accounting professional. So look forward to having the three of us talk about that next time. And as always, we appreciate you joining us on the QB Power, and we'll see you next time.
We hope you enjoyed listening to the QB Power Hour podcast. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in our Facebook group. You can find those resources and much more at qbpowerhour.com.